Hello, welcome back to Otaku Tuesday on Bookend Gaming.
Whoa, it's the Otaku day of the week.
It's the mother fluffin' Tuesday.
Ooh, fluffin'. It's overfluffed.
Everybody get your titties out. 'Cause
Okay.
it's Titty Tuesday.
I don't got no titties.
I've got enough for both of us. It's all good.
All right, I brought some extra just in case.
Oh, give them to me. I need them. For reasons.
Anyways.
I'm collecting all the titties in the world. Going to absorb them all.
Here's my bag of tits.
Sweet.
It's my tit bag.
That's just a bunch of dead birds.
This
is
double
National-
entendre.
National Park Girls.
Episode 3, Daughter of Zion, I think is what it was called.
Yes, which I thought would be Zion, but I guess the daughter of Zion is probably Yosemite Sam.
Oh my goodness.
But adoptive daughter?
Who knows?
I knows. Because
But-
I've played this. I
Oh.
didn't. I promise I didn't.
We're about to go to Zion.
We are.
National Park.
We're going to have a picnic with our picnic basket.
Right, because it's going to rain here, so we got to go somewhere
Yeah,
else.
and Yosemite's cooking for us, but we're all worried about it.
Yellowstone doesn't really want her to, but that's okay.
Well, Yellowstone wants help, but is also like, I don't know about this. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Let's do the thing.
Okay.
Let me get back into the voice. We're full of Taco Bell.
Yeah.
That is not the old default of you saying everything is Taco Bell. We actually ate Taco Bell.
I just really like Taco Bell.
And now my insides are going to become my outsides very quickly.
I didn't get the right drink, but that's okay because Baja Blast is also
It's amazing.
top tier.
They didn't have the sangria one.
No, I haven't seen that one in a long
That makes
time.
me sad. I missed that one.
Mhm,
It was
it
such
was
a
good.
nice little treat. They should release that in the cans, even though Baja Blast isn't as good in the cans.
No.
Okay, let's do this. I gotta get in the zone. After what feels like an eternity of listening to genres of elevator music I didn't even know existed, the line finally starts to ring. First once, then twice, then 3 times a lady. On the 3rd ring, some lady on the other end answers. My foot aches from all the impatient tapping.
What even is death metal bubblecore?
Yeah, I'd like to check my balance. Checkings. There's a long
Is it
pause.
me on the other?
What?
Is it me on the other line?
Do people call it a checkings?
I love when I ask for their name and they just say their first name.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
You.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There's a long pause. When she speaks, it's a bunch of nonsense words that I don't care about. Something about exorbitant debt. No, I don't want the app. More words.
Why is she whiny now?
I don't want the credit card either. Just tell me if there's been any suspicious charges.
She is pouting, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a balance of quiet natured,
Oh,
angry,
yeah.
but also angsty.
Trying to change your voice so it's not Michiru like.
Yeah, I don't know. She seems like she needs to be more angsty, but also
Yeah, she's very
quiet.
angsty.
She sighs. I sigh. What a pain in the ass. I give her my account number. My eyes start to glaze over as I wait for her to bring up the info. Over by the counter, Yellowstone squirms and gasps as Yosemite crams what I think are sandwiches into the picnic basket. She forces the lid shut, a murky rainbow of fruits and veggies spilling over the top.
My Skittles!
Zion is laying on my bed, staring at the ceiling. Pup's there too, curled up and resting his snout on her. I didn't give either of them permission to be on there, but you know what, I'll let her have it this once. Just because I feel bad that Yosemite is gonna all dance recital mom on her. The lady on the phone speaks up and starts listing off my recent transactions. Magazine subscriptions, Sierra Club, ASPCA donations, Pornhub, some bad graffiti artist medical bills.
Yeah, I love when I pull up people's bills, or, transactions, and it's...
OnlyFans,
I'm like,
OnlyFans,
yo,
OnlyFans.
Okay, OnlyFans. This is going to be a fun conversation.
Yeah. See, all of mine are just, it's me getting paid from OnlyFans.
Like
The
my,
usual.
My card's not working, and then I have to verify their transactions. I'm like,
It's like, yeah, you've been blocked because you
did you spend $50 on OnlyFans?
No. Yeah, you did, dude. I don't care.
It's fine, bro. It's a safe space.
I do it too. You should check out this chick. She's a cosplayer. But then, what an unusual purchase. Nothing expensive, nothing grand, just an $8 charge to an online bookseller. What could it mean? I sneak another peek at Yosemite. She starts to hum to herself as she folds the picnic basket into an uneven rectangle,
Blanket.
smiling. Oh, picnic blanket. I was wondering. It's like, wow, that's pretty strong. You put all that food in there and then fucking folded it into a rectangle. Smiling in such an uncharacteristic, joyful way that the skin on my back crawls.
I hate when she's happy. Ugh.
Okay, got it. Alright, that's all I need to know, thanks. Before I can end the call, she stops me. What is it now?
Do you have time to talk about your car's extended warranty?
No, I don't know how to drive. I have a moped. She asked the question, and if I could, I'd reach for the phone and swat her over the head. Yes, I know what a smartphone is. I hang up and toss my BlackBerry on the couch. Can't a person check in with their credit union without any hassles? Ugh.
No.
God! At least I know one thing's for certain now. Yosemite definitely used my card to buy that book, that bitch. And she probably used my phone to do it. I'm gonna run out of minutes on my BlackBerry?
Maybe. $8 for a book's not bad, though.
No.
If you're so dead set on living an archaic existence, you may as well resort to the barter system. Really show it to them.
You try operating in modern society. I bet you'd go nuts after forgetting your 5th password. The fight drains from her eyes. She glances over at Zion, who is now sitting on the edge of the bed waiting to go.
You're probably right.
And it's because of weird moments like that, I'm not going to chew her out about it, because I'm nice, yet. There's something going on here. The unsure glances and sad smiles make it as obvious as a slap to the face. So I'm just going to observe for a bit, wait and see how this plays out. Yellowstone told me she had wandered around 30 years before meeting up with the other two. These girls have decades of baggage, and I am not here for it. Just like the rest of us, really. Except not me, because I'm not over 30, I promise.
Slap.
Slap? All it takes is one single clap from Yosemite
Oh.
for both Yellowstone and Zion to rise in attention. Even Pup does it.
I didn't slap anyone, I
In
promise.
his weird box. They're better trained than most of my coworkers.
Because he's short, he can't be up in the picture with everyone.
So one of them could be holding him. He could sit on top of her head.
That's very true. It looks slightly longer than expected. I get that a lot.
I don't. I sort of expected it. She gives the evil eye to Yellowstone. It shuts her up pretty quick.
But it looks like we're finally ready to go.
I'm sad for some reason now.
Hooray!
Zion is the only one to even try and match Yosemite's enthusiasm. Her heart doesn't seem in it, though. She taps the air with a light fist pump.
Poof. Yellowstone, can you make sure everything is accounted for?
Yellowstone tears herself away from cringing at the picnic basket, which is looking more and more like a waste silo as the food drips over the edges. She forces a smile, her greatest talent. Her only talent. Aye, aye! Aye, aye, aye! Blanket and weights in case it gets windy. She points to her back and shakes her backpack. I can hear the weights rattling around in it. Check. Adorable Earth Angel who's gonna have a swell time? Doubt rings in her voice. She throws Zion a thumbs up. Zion nods and gives a thumbs up back. Yellowstone doesn't look convinced, though. Check. Evo. I'm actually kind of excited. I mean, shut up.
Shut up about it.
I look down and try to hide the creepy-looking grin I know I get when I'm happy, but Yellowstone still notices anyway and smiles like she just saw something disgustingly precious. Blip. Look at my little, look at the photo, look at the photo.
You're the blushing.
I got the wood, you got the wood.
And I got the blip.
I got the blip. She giggles. Check! Just let me be a national park nerd in peace, please. I beg of you. Yosemite and her, those things on her chest. Basket of grub.
That's what I call them.
Nom 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 nom.
Why are you so afraid to call my cooking food?
Sorry, I was just thinking of a Scrubs scene. It's like some fucking surgeon, some doctor got fired. It's like, what happened? Well, and it flashes to him like with this fucking huge titted woman sitting on his table. He's like, okay, this may hurt a little bit, but first let me just numb you. And he takes a flashlight, points it at her boobs, and goes, num 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 num. Jack! She doesn't just skate along to avoid the subject. She skates a full 180 degrees to avoid looking at Yosemite.
Oh.
Is Puppers tagging along? Pup, hearing his name, I guess that's his name, in a mangled capacity, leaps off my bed and bounds over. He spins in circles, rubbing against my leg after every few spins, like his brain can't quite keep up with his body. I know what that's like. Nah, he's staying here. Just gonna keep him outside where we're gone.
That's probably safe.
Now without her cuddle buddy, Zion floats off the bed and lands near the rest of us.
I haven't done her voice yet this episode. Need some Baja Blast.
I do. You've been doing most of the talking for the last couple of months.
That's true.
I saw him by the campground earlier. Isn't that a little concerning? He's getting awfully used to people.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, woo.
I know, right? Pretty boy thinks he's woman. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. There's a long, uncomfortable silence where my baby talk seems to echo across the cabin. Why did I do this? I'm going to go jump off a cliff now. It's only broken up by Pup growling as he tries gnawing on my shoe. Even he thought that was stupid.
Oh, fuck. Hashtag cringe. Grrr. Grrr.
Smile for the camera. See, no hunting instincts at all. It's fine. Zion sighs, then digs deep into her hair and snaps off a branch.
Stick.
Right, stick.
Oh,
For the puppy. Pup's head tilts to the side. Zion flies over to the door, whirling the stick through the air like a magic wand. She opens the door and Pup scrambles over.
You want the stick, boy? Want the stick? Go get it.
With a pained grunt, she tosses it outside. Doesn't go very far.
What do you expect? I got short little stubby arms.
But you fly, so you could just, fly across the room and, well...
Shut up.
But it's enough for Pup to chase after it, and more importantly, for Zion to close the door before he can come back. Maybe we should, train him by saying out.
Oh,
Ow!
foiled again.
He starts to scratch and whine at the door. I'm sure that won't be terrible when we're gone for a couple hours. It's hard to resist the temptation to go and let him back in. Fortunately, Yosemite doesn't give me much time to dwell on my broken heart.
So now that the fluff ball is out of the way, is everyone all set?
Looks like it, Chief.
Don't call me that. That's racist. Wonderful. Care to do the honors, Zion?
How do you figure?
All right.
Of course. Where am I taking us to?
What are you going to do about it? Stand on the side of the road and have a single teardrop fall down your cheek?
Yes, actually. Come on. You know the place.
No, I don't.
Your favorite place?
My bad?
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah!
It would be hard to have a picnic at Angel's Landing. It's quite chilly up there. And windy.
Yosemite frowns, then beckons her forward with a finger. She leans in and whispers something in Zion's ear. How dare you fucking embarrass me in front of these guys? Her small nose wrinkles in confusion as Yosemite backs away.
Yes, I can take us there, if that's what you want.
Yosemite doesn't so much sigh as she does deflate.
Oh God, she's deflating.
Not the answer she wanted, I'm guessing.
Get the pump.
There's water everywhere.
Okay, everyone, please hold hands.
Ew.
Miss Eve, I know this is your first time doing it with a group.
Well,
But don't worry.
Yeah, teleporting.
It's simple.
Sure is. All you gotta do is touch the old bread makers here with buddies.
That's not boobs. Don't worry.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna do it anyway. Before I can jerk it away, she grabs my wrist. With her kung fu grip, she forces my hand to Yosemite's. When the Yosemite resists, Yellowstone just does the same thing to her. There! Golly, you two don't have nothing but salt and pepper in you, do you? Our fingers interlock. For a moment, our palms touch, the skin pressing together. It's so
dear.
lewd.
Censor.
We both loosen our grip immediately and look away from each other. Oh my god, just fucking do it already. Far, far, far away, where neither of us have to see each other's stupid faces. Hers definitely being the stupidest, stupid, braggart, idiot, cute, sexy, hot.
You are stupid. What on earth did you do to make your hand so calloused? You could light a match on it.
I light matches on them.
Oh.
I wish I could throw it right back at her, but her hand's so smooth and soft, and oh, I love it. I could hardly even feel the lines on her palm. Yours feel like peeled tree bark. You have a poop mouth. Poop come out of your mouth.
All right, that's just... There's a child here. Is that your only insult?
It is, and I hope you get termites.
Oh, all right. That's crossing a line.
Yellowstone grabs my free hand and squeezes it. My fingers feel like twigs bending and cracking in the grasp of Yellowstone's strength. Wow, Jesus. My body flexes as I deal with the crushing pain. In my resistance, I squeeze Yosemite's hand. There's a single snap! She lets out a yelp that sounds just like a pup.
A woo.
Girls? Puffs a black smoke whistle out of the top of her volcano like a steam engine. Unless the both y'all are cruising for a bruising, let's not turn this into a slobber knocker. She says it all through gritted teeth. A dark smile forces itself across her lips and digs into her cheeks, corrupting her usual jolly dimples. A red glow pules from her volcano, and I decide then and there that it's probably for the best to try to avoid any future eruptions.
Oh, Lord, she's peeling.
Capiche?
I don't
Yosemite
speak
hurriedly
French.
nods. I follow Swit. Yay! Take us away, Calgon, cutie. Zion nods, then extends her hand to Yosemite. She accepts it and tenderly strokes it with her thumb.
Don't let go, Miss Eve. That would be very bad.
Have you ever seen Harry Potter?
Yeah, he goes diagonally. It's so funny.
I finally get it. Holy shit. Huh? Why am I only being told this
Oh,
Wind rushes up from beneath me, lifting me up into nowhere. All that surrounds me is electricity.
did you say skibbity?
Just look right into my belly screen. All that surrounds me is electricity, like I'm a grain of static in every television sign-off screen to ever flicker on a screen, and that I've been living this way forever.
God, change it to channel 3.
I'm not breathing. I'm not existing. I'm
That's not
only
good.
moving, and I move into darkness. Darkness consumes me.
Don't move into the darkness.
I turn on my Disturbed album. When I stare too long, vague shapes of constellations and heavenly bodies show themselves. I feel my hands begin to slip out of Yellowstone's and Yosemite's. Before I can let go, my knees hit the ground. Oh! Holy shit! Oh my god! I'm not doing that again. Able to breathe again, I begin shoveling as much air as possible as I can into my lungs. Just like waving her arms into her face.
Need more air.
This wasn't nearly as intense as the other times.
I'm taking a bus back.
Thank you for flying Air Zion. I apologize for the turbulence and lack of peanuts.
Wait. Is this... I rub my hands across the ground. Moist soil and dirt cool my skin. Grabbing a clump of thin wild grass, I let it slide through my fingers. It's yellowish green and thin as wheat. Zion National Park? I jump to my feet, trip, and then jump back up again. You didn't see that. Splatterings of tall trees extend into the distance in all directions. In the clearing where we're at, the land is nearly bare of them. But the further you go, the closer they get to each other, and the more of them there are. Until these sparse, almost naked trees combine
Don't look
their
at my naked
presence
trees.
and merge into the forest. And it's like a weird Pokemon. It's a
It's a Cubone skull.
it's a fucking Slowbro with a Cubone. There's an elegance to them. The restrained spacing, or it's like that stupid
Camerupt.
maybe
Don't-
Numel.
Okay, that's what
That's
evolves
what
into
turned
Camerupt.
yeah. There's an elegance to them. The restrained spacing of their pine needles, allowing them to show off more of their toned and sleek wood. I'm really into trees, but that shouldn't go into consideration with the whole Yosemite thing. If their mighty redwood cousins back in Yosemite are knights, then these are fencers. Sleek and sexy. They all accumulate at the base of a mountain as if it were a place of gathering and worship.
Are we fencers or are we dancers?
What's happening? Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're
My
reading?
brain just shut off. The mountain looks alien compared to the natural green of the trees. Its base is a gray mass, but jagged stripes of pink and gray minerals outline it.
Kind of looks like a Cubone.
The unmistakable trademark of Navajo sandstone. Patternless nooks and overhangs look like they've been carved into the mountainside by an artist with no vision.
You know the
Lame.
one.
Something so chaotic and random it could only exist in nature.
Da Vinci.
Yet it anchors this entire forest, presiding over it like a custodian.
Ugu. Feast your eyes, Ranger. You're looking at the North Guardian Angel.
There's more popular places in the Kolob Terrace.
Zion must feel Yosemite's eyes watching her because she immediately course corrects.
But the Northgate peaks are always so beautiful. Something as simple as sitting between a mountain can really humble you.
Well, let me motorboat and I'll be sitting between mountains. You're telling me, just looking at it makes me feel like a teeny tiny ant floating through oblivion. Stop right there, criminal scum. Oh, you get that too. Like clockwork, I just try to push the bad thoughts away. It's stinking thinking and I won't have it. You know, the universe is going to collapse in on itself one day.
I know, I already told the folks.
La 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 la, not thinking. I'm real dizzy. Yellowstone plugs her ears and stomps her feet to drown me out. Yosemite has wandered off, inspecting the ground for a flat spot clear of any rocks.
Yellowstone is unable to battle. Eve, stop inducing an existential crisis in Yellowstone.
Oh, I've hurt myself in my confusion.
Yellowstone, could you help me with setting up the food?
Why would you use me against new mail? It's my
Please?
weakness. Okie dokie, Smokey.
How do you set up food?
Yellowstone. Prances over to
It's like
Yosemite,
mellow Yellowstone.
humming a little tune to herself. For someone who is brushing up against a nervous breakdown, she sure did recover easily. But you gotta let me choose a picnic spot. Not just any old ground will do, it's an art.
Right here'll do.
Good enough.
And I assume you're an artisan?
Yes, indeedly. And you can just call me DiCaprio.
Did you just say indeedly?
Absolutely, I did.
Absolutely.
Okasiladilladokio. She proudly crosses her arms, basking in her status as a skilled homemaker. Meanwhile, Yosemite's basking in the stupidity of what Yellowstone just said.
Do you mean Da Vinci?
No, I love Titanic. The two of them go off arguing
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
I didn't even pay attention. Okay.
The two of them go off arguing the dichotomy of Leonardo's as they search for the perfect place to picnic.
He's the best turtle.
Isn't that what she said? Yeah, DiCaprio.
Okay, I didn't even pay attention. I just thought Da Vinci in my head.
Yeah,
like
because that's the obvious.
Yeah.
While they're busy doing that, now would be the perfect time to really take in the sights. And maybe shovel some more air into my lungs. I take out the camera I stashed away in my flannel pocket. It's a digital one. I mean, not to brag, I have a digital camera. It's got like 8 megapixels.
Your phone could do that. No, it can't. It's
No,
a BlackBerry.
it's a BlackBerry. It's a digital one I bought almost 10 years ago, and I still barely know how to work it. Like, I press the button, and it snaps a picture, but it doesn't come out. But once I get it turned on and triple check it's not to set record, triple check it's not set to record, I start snapping away. It's not every day I get to visit Utah. Okay, thank you. I didn't know where that was. In fact, the only time I've ever visited has been when I drove through it when going to Georgia for my federal training in Glencoe.
Oh, okay.
Where are you normally?
Washington, I think.
But you wouldn't go through Utah to get to Georgia.
To get down to
Oh,
Georgia?
the state Washington. Yeah, duh.
I think. I don't know.
I think you're right.
I feel like it was there, though.
But I've always loved just how red all the mountains are. Not so much here, but you wouldn't have to go very far to find entire mountain ranges that glow as if an entire sunset was being projected upon them. There's no other state that looks quite like that. The people are nice too. They all marry each other. I zoom in up close on one of the more interesting spots of the Northern Guardian
Things
Angel.
with faces.
An overhang on the far left. It's curved in such a way that the shadow cast on it makes it look like an entrance to a shallow cave. The wall of the mountain fades into a dull pink at the end of it.
Are you actually happy to be here, Miss Eve?
The grass rustles. I look away from the camera. Zion creeps to my side, twiddling her thumbs and keeping her eyes locked to the ground, as if the simple task of talking to me was a potential risk. 'Cause it is. Surprised I'm capable of feeling joy?
I'll smack a child.
Panic sets in as she scrambles to clarify.
Oh, no, not at all.
Hesitance sets in as she realizes she can't.
Well, not entirely.
As polite as ever, I see, even when the truth is inconvenient. What are you, Al Gore? Don't need to sugarcoat it, kid. I know what I am.
You do?
Whatever she's thinking, I've been called it. Cynical, stick in the mud, hard ass, nice ass, round ass, fucking awesome ass, chokey.
I don't know why Chokey called me that one day.
That's the twist. I'm Chokey.
Oh, Chokey the bear.
Or as Yellowstone might put it, sure, a grump.
Only you can prevent nice ass.
Why would I ever want to? I'm always working towards nice ass. Zion jolts up, so far that she floats back to the ground, swinging her head back and forth.
But it's only you that can prevent it.
That's true. Actually, you helped because you just fucking fed me Taco Bell.
That's true.
That's a fib. Never ever have I thought you were grumpy. You're not so grump, Miss Eve. You're just sad.
Well, that's not better. Gravity must have gotten a little heavier because my arms fall limp at my side along with the camera.
Yeah, like that.
Zion is such an anomaly. Even when compared to volcano heads and waterfall hair, she's intuitive in ways most adults are too self-absorbed to be. And she does it with the gentle honesty of a child.
I mean, I can fly. Isn't that cool?
She's so effing cute. As far as I know, she could be both or either. Who knows how years and age even works for these girls? Despite that, it's hard to feel like she's effectively anything other than a kid. Yeah, it's almost like, do they reach a certain point and then reset?
Who knows?
How can I be sad when you're so pretty? This park has sights I couldn't dream of seeing in Northern California.
Oh, there you go.
That's where they are. That makes sense. It's not something I'm particularly good at doing consciously, but I try to give her a smile, using my mom as a base of reference. That bitch wouldn't let me dye my hair green. Someone who managed to ascend to sainthood despite raising 5 rowdy kids, or because of it. Zion can't hide her blush. As pink as the gradient on the mountain, her usual uncertain courtesy is briefly taken over by a huffy pout.
No, you really mustn't say things like that, Miss Eve. It's embarrassing for all parties.
I've never really thought about it much before, but she really does sound like a mini Yosemite sometimes.
Oh, good.
Except Zion's big words have the benefit of not being spoken by a big, pretty, kissable mouth. Let's hope old Leafear's personality doesn't wear off on her, too.
But just so you know...
She lowers her voice to a grave whisper, cupping one side of her mouth to tell me a secret like little kids do when they don't want people to hear them, but then they talk in like a very loud whisper. She waits for me to crouch down. I don't.
It's very possible for someone to feel sad, but to try and hide it by pretending to feel another way.
What? People don't do that. Uh-huh. And do you think that's what I'm doing?
That's what you're doing.
She shakes her head again, twice as hard and with twice as many shakes.
Not anymore. Not at all. You seem to smile so much more these days, and you don't sigh as much before going to work now. Though that one is the most noticeable. Sighing is the biggest sign of sadness there is.
That just means you don't have enough oxygen to your brain.
You just scooped a whole bunch of air in there.
Oh wait, that's a yawn, not a sigh.
You're still scary, but you've absolutely changed, and now you're like nice scary.
That's like the second best kind of scary.
Yeah, the sexy scary's the best.
You got it. You know what I was saying. Pressing her hands together, she gives a smile, but the way she closes her eyes while doing it makes me think she's just scared to see my reaction. As she should be, because that's hogwash. What's with these campers?
Why am I turning into Yellowstone?
What's with Zion? And why did I say hogwash? Or Jessie, for that matter? What am I doing now that's any different than before? There's no change in just doing your job, or the stupidest, simplest things like smiling.
Oh my god, can't you enjoy anything?
No! That's called being a normal-ass human. And last I checked, it didn't imply something as drastic as going soft, or letting go of the things that made you hard to begin with. I'm hard as fuck, yo. Trust me, kid, I'm just as scary today as I was yesterday. No one stops being miserable overnight. I mean, drugs help. Throw me a bad day and see how nice I am then.
Well, I suppose that's true.
Darn tootin'. Oh, God. It's happening.
But you've been with us for more than a single day. Or night, for that matter. Gee,
5 years.
it's as gradual as the passing of dusk to dawn, after all.
It's really weird that nothing of note has happened in 5 years of us all living together.
We just ate a lot of beef jerky.
You know, none of us aged, and the pup didn't age. Maybe we should move out of there. You still notice the crack of dawn, though. Can't say it looks much brighter than the witching hour right now. Zion contemplates this, rubbing her chin like a junior detective. Objection!
In that case, you're probably still sleeping. Some people sleep in for an awfully long time.
She glances over at Yosemite. Her and Yellowstone are arguing over whether the Splinter was one of the Renaissance greats. Haha, or not. I don't know how I got to this point. I don't know how my life got here either. Zion,
Yes,
can we leave? They're idiots. Are you feeling sad and pretending?
always.
If there's something going... Isn't everyone? If there's something going on between her and Zion, whatever wordless little struggle it may be, I'm bound to get sucked into it at some point. This is what happens when an entire social ecosystem is crammed into a cabin. There's a lot of estrogen going around in the air in there. I think they have estrogen. I don't know. They're parks. Zion's shoulders tense up, then slump down. It's hard to read her expression based off her profile. But when she turns to face me, her tiny hands are clumped up into fists and certainty steals her gaze.
We do what we can for as long as we can, Miss Eve.
There's a sharp whistle from behind us. We look back and both of Yellowstone's pinkies are in the corner of her mouth. Talk about skill. I'd like to see what else that mouth do. On the other end of the spectrum, Yosemite has both of her pinkies in her mouth and is still blowing all the air stored up in her lungs into them.
I can't whistle that way.
I can't either. I haven't, like, actually whistled in so long, I don't even know if I still can. When she notices us watching, she pretends was coughing into her hand on the ground beside them. Oh, wait, no, that's period. She was coughing into her hand. On the ground beside them, an entire picnic spread has been set up.
Stew's down, you two. Come and get it.
Whoop-dee! Whoop-dee! Yellowstone scrunches her nose. Say, Yosemite, don't you mean soup's up? No, you mean soup's on.
Come get it.
Breaker! Sorry. It's all fighting game shit down in that corner. With a small sigh, Zion leaves me behind and starts walking over to the others. At this distance, I wonder why she doesn't just use her wings.
Because it's tiring sometimes. However long we can take it.
You try using your spine to move.
Yeah.
Technically, I do. Shut up!
Coming, Yosemite!
Yosemite greets Zion with a smile and a small hug, having been separated by the long, untraversable distance of 100 feet.
That's a really long way.
Then she looks over to me and her eyes go flat like dead fish. She points at the invisible watch on her wrist. Amazing. Even in moments of obvious internal crisis, she still manages to be insufferable. Almost dropped a C-bomb there. We lock eyes. I put on a smirk as smarmy as the one she usually wears, then make her way over. We're a couple of smarmy lasses. Real slow-like. Gotta say, girls, this place is gorgeous.
Thank you.
Maybe even prettier than the park we came from. I don't mean it, of course. Not with all the memories I have there, but if it'll get under the skin of Yosemite the prude, then I'll temporarily diss Yosemite the park. I'm so smart.
It's cute how you believe your pettiness will fuel my ire when all it does is serve to further your own rot. Perish, gremlin.
Don't use those $20 words of yours to be a Grinch, Yosemite. I wouldn't touch you with a 20.5-foot pole. I would. I mean, never mind. Dollface was just smelling the roses. Yellowstone, unaware of the psychological warfare occurring in front of her, sticks up for me. This is it. I win. I'm the best. Because I said so. Yosemite can't fight back against such oblivious kindness. And they smell great. I let the sentence slide out in a whisper. She'll love that. I mean, she'll hate that. So backhanded, I can almost see it slap Yosemite's face. I just want to slap that stupid, pretty, beautiful face. She clicks her tongue and waves me off. For once, a total victory. Finally.
Flawless.
Yellowstone might not notice it, but Zion sure does. Throughout all of this, her eyes have been swooping back and forth between me and Yosemite. She uses the lull in the conversation to shift gears.
So what exactly the hell is in these sandwiches?
Cucumbers. Well, that's better than pickles.
This spread looks like something out of a picture book. Did you set it up, Yellowstone?
You can't put pickles in a sandwich unless it's a bun.
Yeah.
That shit will sog up your bread so fast.
I don't like pickles anyways.
I fucking love pickles.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think I've seen. I think pickles on normal bread.
You would either have to toast the bread, or like have dried pickles. Yeah, like soggy bread is awful. Bet your tush I did. It was just about the only thing Yosemite would let me do. Aesthetically, the picnic spread really is perfect.
Oh, my favorite, pine cones.
Yeah, I was gonna. What? Who's gonna eat that?
Me.
What the fuck is this? Yellowstone's knack for detail shines with every paper plate and dish arranged like around the picnic basket as if it were a coffee table centerpiece.
That's the good old leaf in a cup.
I mean, I'm assuming it's tea,
Leaf in a cup light.
but you just pour it through one leaf and hope you get enough flavor. On all four corners, smooth stones weigh down the blanket to keep it from crinkling up. All that's missing is potato salad and fireworks. Even the spot she picked feels like it was expertly chosen to create the most all-American picnic experience possible. America, fuck yeah. Right underneath an elder tree with drooping branches and leaves for shade. I know which spot I'm taking.
Hey Zion, how does the food look? I made all of it, even the globe, mallow gruel that you like. Doesn't it make you salivate? Doesn't it bring back memories? Why is my fork bent?
Yeah, memories of puking on the blacktop as a kid. In all fairness, it could end up being good, but things aren't looking too hot right now. Some of these dishes look recognizable, but they're all the wrong color. It's like when they did that Shrek ketchup and it was green, and it's like, I know it
Yeah.
tastes normal, but I can't eat it.
Green and purple.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
I can't eat it. I know it tastes fine. If I close my eyes, I can eat it.
Yeah.
But if I look at it, my brain just goes, no, this is poison. That grits oatmeal porridge thing she made? Yeah, that's orange. It shouldn't be orange. A fruit salad with pine needles is bedding? That's my only guess for the plate next to it. Were these even the fruit Jessie brought over with the groceries? Was any of this? Where's all the jerky? She did the weird disappearing thing while making the food. Did she just go out and pick whatever she could find? Zion observes the assumedly edible substances in front of her and nods.
Yes, eat the fruit from my forest.
This looks like you tried really hard, Yosemite. Good job.
Why don't you snack on these cherries? Ouch, it must be fire season because Yosemite just got burned.
Oh! Burn!
It doesn't seem to bother her. In fact, she's smiling. Like her macaroni portrait just got hung on the fridge. Good job, Yosemite. It's not Da Vinci, or DiCaprio, but you get 2 gold stars. You truly are a Wolf of Wall Street. She's either deranged or resilient.
I'm glad. I was thinking of you the entire time.
She's deranged.
Come on, let me fix you a plate.
Yosemite sits down on the blanket, starts to pile a little bit of everything onto the flimsy paper plate.
Now I'll do yours next, Yellowstone. Eve, you can do it yourself.
What the fuck? I thought we were just like playfully bantering, but now it seems like she's actually mad at me. Whatever, I don't want her poisoning me anyway.
That freaking green ketchup.
Plopping down on the blanket, I slump against the tree. Call me overly cautious, but I'm gonna observe the reactions to this food before I even consider putting it in my body.
Plus, I'm not eating a pine cone.
Yosemite sets down Zion's plate in front of her. Also, they could eat things that one of them has a volcano for a head, the other one can fly, and one has water for hair. They might be able to eat shit that you can't eat. It's a mountain of food, almost as big as the actual mountain behind us. All mished and mashed together. It's taken on the color of the texture of a grounded rainbow trout. A bastardization of the food pyramid if I've ever seen one. Where's the sugar?
This is a lot.
Of course it is. I know you say you're a picky eater, but the Zion I know would be happy with whatever she's got. She would be grateful for simply having food.
The unhappy cherub gives a defiant groan and pokes at Food Mountain with her finger. It jiggles.
It jiggles.
It's alive! Don't give me that. I expect you to finish everything on that plate. You don't expect me to let you starve now, do you?
There are starving children in Africa, probably. Before I'm even done leaning over and looking cool, Yellowstone is waiting for me to whisper in her ear. Is starving to death even an option for you 3? We get cravings, but it ain't like we'll croak from hunger. Before these 2, I could go weeks without eating. And I was naked. Did I mention I was naked? Yes, a lot.
I just like to be naked.
Maybe we should get naked. That's what I thought. What kind of fairy tale creature keels over for something as mundane as lack of food? Yosemite has always been stuck on hyperbole, but now she's just playing house.
You're right, Yosemite.
Gripping her fork, Zion plunges it into the gelatinous mass.
Ooh.
I'm gonna dip into Yosemite's gelatinous mass. I have to swallow back the vomit a little when she slips it into her mouth.
Yum, it's so crunchy.
It cracks like thin bones between her teeth.
Those would be the pine needles. They're quite nutritious.
Wow, you can really taste the tree. She bobs her head up and down, swirling around away the food in her cheek.
Really hits that spot.
Does that mean you like it?
Zion swallows. The gulp sounds like an anvil settling in her stomach. Then somehow, through all the different shades of discomfort flickering through her eyes, she smiles. Not just a smirk either, a bright, sunny beam.
Why couldn't you just bring Go-Gurt? I love it. Almost as much as I love you, Yosemite.
I added Danimals to the list. You got your stupid book. Danimals don't exist anymore, do they?
I don't
think they do.
I don't
never
know.
see them.
I'm gonna steal her credit card next time.
Oh, brother. Where art thou, brother? Oh, that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. She's a movie buff, apparently. Me and Yellowstone can only sigh as the performance before us amps up the theatrics. I'm trying to take a drink, but there's ice in this cup, and I don't want it to, like...
Oh, well,
it's
too late
noisy. I know. I'm bringing attention to it so it's not in the background. Because that's better. Yosemite buys into it, though. Hell, she might even purchase a playbill during intermission. She swoons over Zion, like her mere presence is enough to make her melt into a soup of unicorns and hearts. It's not like I'm jealous or anything, though.
Such a sweetheart.
There's a crack in her voice. And the facade. Her breath shakes. She smacks her chapped lips as they quiver.
I'm so lucky to have you.
What do we do what we can for as long as we can. Zion's words seem more relevant than ever as she places a comforting hand on Yosemite's thigh. Should be my hand. I mean, never mind.
No, I'm so lucky to have you. I'm sorry for being so difficult. Don't beat me again.
I'm not sure how much good it did, but Yosemite gets halfway to a smile.
You have nothing to apologize for, little one.
She boops Zion on the nose. Boop, 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 boop. Her eyes go wide like a flashlight was just shined in her face.
If this doesn't work, I'll be the one that needs to apologize to you. Speaking of apologies...
Yosemite picks up another plate and starts loading it up with more food. Her bangs dangle over her eyes, and it's pretty hot, and hide most of it, but a slight blush streaks across her face, and she's forced to admit that even she isn't without her faults.
Here you go, random bear in the woods. Sorry for taking so long, Yellowstone. You must be getting antsy.
Well, we chose the bear over the man, so this is, you know...
This is what we get.
I'm okay with that.
Death.
I would rather choose the bear, honestly. I'm with all the women. Oh no, really, it's no biggie. You don't gotta... Okay, you're already doing it. That's fine. This is fine. Everything is fine. Fire. Dread colors Yellowstone. From the top of her volcano to the tip of her chin, to the hairs on her chinny chin chin, a fresh wobbling plate of slop is tossed in front of her. It's like eating in the movie Hook. With nothing more than a passing glance, Yosemite vaguely acknowledges me.
I meant what I said. Starve.
You're doing me a mercy. She sticks her nose in the air and returns to attending to Zion.
Why do we even hang around this bitch?
Ever the optimist, Yellowstone scoops up a chunk of Yosemite's surprise and gulps. She's trembling. Rub-a-dub-dub, at least it ain't mud. High praise. A gust of wind blows past us as she stares down the fork. Somewhere in the world, a tumbleweed drifts across the desert. Yellowstone is quick to draw through and bites down before it can get her first. I don't doubt that it would have. Chew. Swallow. Gag. The fork falls onto the blanket. Yellowstone limply sits on her knees, staring off into a space far from here. In her eyes are the reflections of every disaster and atrocity to ever scar the earth. The Black Death, Hindenburg, JFK, and Dallas. I see it all. That bad? About what I figured. She doesn't look at me. So, what's the problem?
It's so good.
Don't know. I guess some things just really take the Simon out of your Garfunkel, you know? You know, just like, hello darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, and bookends, apparently.
Yeah. I kind of feel like the only living boy in New York.
It's the only thing that's what pops up after you put in bookend.
It's Bookends by Simon and Garfunkel, and it's Booker T's finishing move.
Yeah, and
Every
also
time.
the Green Onions, because that's Booker T in the something.
Yeah, when he did
Booker
music.
T and the MGs.
Yeah. The distance between me and her may as well be from the sun to the moon. I do what I can and give her one solid pat on the shoulder.
There.
You gave Yosemite the benefit of the doubt, kid. There's nothing else you could have done. Well, let's just stuff that trauma away for another day. Wow, that really is how she copes. That's healthy. For now, it's time to hatch Plan Y. Plan Y? What happened to the other 24 plans?
That's just my first plan, because my name starts with
They
Y.
don't exist. The Y stands for Yellowstone. She takes a quick glance at Yosemite. I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah. Your name starts with Y, too.
That's real confusing. We should just call you Sam, who is currently wiping crumbs off of Zion's face. With the coast clear, she does a small fist pump and starts digging around in her volcano. I feel nothing as I watch her arm go elbow deep inside her own head. I've seen more fucked up shit on Pornhub. Only emptiness gnaws at the pit of my chest as her tongue wiggles her out the corner of her mouth, as if she's struggling to find gum in her purse. Aha! Bingo!
Oh.
Like a magician whipping a rabbit out of their hat, she lifts out 2 Ziploc baggies with sandwiches inside them. Alright, those emotions I wasn't feeling earlier, I'm feeling all of them now. Viscerally. She doesn't expect me to eat that, right? Not to be a stick in the mud, but I kind of saw this coming, so I did a little prep work in advance. Hope you like tuna salad. Oh god, she actually does. She tosses me one of the baggies. The heat melts to my skin as soon as I catch it. I play hot potato with it, passing it between my hands until it's cool enough to actually handle. If it was that hot, how did the Ziploc bag not melt? Why do these girls keep throwing more bizarre concepts at me to accept? This time, literally.
It's magic, obviously.
Wait, is it always warm inside Yellowstone's head? What if I stick my dick in there? I mean, I thought her volcano only acted up when she got angry, but the bag felt like it was nuked in the microwave.
And she did laundry in her head.
Yeah, she cooked tea with her head.
Yeah.
I look up from the baggie and at her, trying to get a good read on her mood, but she's just staring at me expectantly, waiting for me to shove this head sandwich down my gullet. I'll give you a head sandwich. I just need another person. I spent enough time with Yellowstone to know that she bottles things up, though, to the point where she explodes when letting out her feelings. Maybe this Yosemite and Zion business just has her irritated. When it comes to all three of them, I'm always doing guesswork. Maybe I should just talk to them. You're gonna be so jazzed about this sandwich, Evo. I spread lots of brown butter on it. Are you trying to clog my arteries before I'm 30?
Yes.
Aren't you 32? Shut up. There's always Yosemite's grub. Blip. She says it with a grin on her face, but she may as well be telling me that death is the only viable option.
We're trying to kill you as young as you can, because when you die, you become one of us.
Yosemite sneaks a peek at us after hearing Yellowstone's comment, but turns her nose up as soon as I notice. Looks like someone's salty about the fact that the people witnessing her holding a small child emotionally hostage don't want to eat her trash. Well, bottoms up, I guess. YOLO. I open the bag and take out the sandwich. Melted cheese and tuna ooze over the crust. The bread is flaky and firm, and it all looks delicious, and I hate myself for eating like this every day, but I'm hooked at this point, chemically addicted. I like tuna. I don't like tuna salad, because I don't like I like mayonnaise, too.
Yeah.
But like eggs, I like eggs, don't like egg salad. Like tuna, don't like tuna salad. Love potatoes, hate potato salad.
Yeah, I don't like any of the salads either.
It's something about the way it's mixed that it's gross to me. When I bite into it, the juices from the tuna flow into my mouth. For a brief moment, I decide life is worth living. What the hell? It's evenly cooked, too. You're just toying with my taste buds now. That's a side effect of the old noggin. To be honest, I want it to be fluffy and light, the ultimate picnic food. She slides in closer to me, her downcast gaze fading into a knowing smile as she signals her victory.
V for victory.
But as long as you dig it, I guess I can let it slide. Can you dig it? Thank you, Yellowstone National Park, bringing a whole new meaning to the term brain food. Or food for thought, huh? Is there anything else that head of yours can do?
Oh boy.
You want to find out? Oh yeah, a whole bunch of neato stuff. It's even a handy-dandy notebook. She grabs the plate of Yosemite Delight in front of her and tosses it in her head. Yes, including the paper plate. Insult me. I'll come. What? You have split ends.
What? No the fuck I don't.
Ah!
Why would you say that?
Lava surges from her head. The sound of an explosion drops like a bomb and we're all dead. The heat warms my face as if I were mere inches away from the blazing fire. Yosemite and Zion turn their heads, the harsh orange light coloring their faces. When the lava geyser plummets back onto her head, they go back to what they were doing, unfazed. Garbage disposal. Ta-da! Horrifying. And oh, so convenient. Well, she's got me there. Yellowstone pulls open the bag, but only takes the sandwich halfway out, instead using the bag as a crumb catcher like a burrito. After taking a few bites out of it, a simple smile spreads across her face. Her posture relaxes and she melts further into the blanket. I guess decent food can change anyone's mood for the better, even someone as cheery as Yellowstone.
Oh no, I ruined all the food that was in there. I was doing laundry.
There was like 3 or 4 bags of sandwiches. Oh shit. She still glances over at Yosemite and Zion from time to time, observing the suffocating maternity of it all. And even that's a little more subdued now. Yosemite rests her chin on her clasped hands, watching Zion poke and choke down her food. The kid has gotten so used to it by now, she almost makes it look natural. And for a while, we all just sit there and munch away at our food. A soft breeze whispers through the valley, rattling the leaves above me. I look up and stare at the clouds through the dancing branches and watch them drift away into the sky's faded blue forever. I sing some stupid song about being in a glider. With a deep breath, I draw in as much of the fresh air as I can.
These are our wings.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. And and let it fill my lungs. It feels like a cleanse. Then I close my eyes and just soak it in. Hey, Teddy, it's me again, your favorite prisoner. Right now I'm in Zion National Park, courtesy of the obvious. Yosemite and Yellowstone are here too. We're having a picnic right now. I wish I could write good things about the food, but unfortunately Yosemite decided she's due for a crisis and made it all herself instead of letting Yellowstone do it. Haven't tried it, but apparently it turned out about as well as you'd expect. There's something going on between Yosemite and Zion right now. I don't know what, but it's starting to feel like a bomb is about to go off. These girls sure are too human for their own good. And it got me wondering, when was the last time I've done something like this? Just sat underneath a tree and enjoyed the moment? Or I've enjoyed anything for that matter. Actually enjoyed it. Not the relief of a good cup, but experiencing something in a way that penetrates through the fog. That makes me feel like I'm living and not just shuffling through life until I withered into the ground. Comfortable silence. Nature in its eternity. Seeing a mountain and knowing it was there before I was born and that it'll stay there long after I'm dead. Feeling tiny and grateful in a world that's far larger and more significant than my ego could ever be. Doubtful. These are my favorite things, and these are the things that I enjoy. And yet, expressing them, experiencing them, and even feeling them, I'm scared to do it, Teddy. More than an admittal of defeat, it would be making myself vulnerable. It doesn't take much either. A bad day, a bad encounter, a bad person. Life has a way of making you resent the things you love. Wouldn't it be better to bury and forget about them? Maybe dig them up every once in a while to get a small glimpse so you don't go completely insane?
What you writing over here?
Nothing? It's hardcore porn. Don't look.
Ooh.
Oh, God. But when I look up and see these three girls, the very embodiment of the green fields and the pink mountain cliffs surrounding them, and the green grass and high tides forever, I start to doubt everything I've just written.
And the green grass grows all around, all around.
Yellowstone is so nurturing, biting her nails simply because she couldn't give everyone a good meal. Zion does her best to make people happy, even if it means eating a plate of their obvious desperation. And Yosemite, for all her flaws, is always grasping at knowledge, and she's kind of cute. Sometimes she grabs a handful of straws instead, but all she's looking for is truth. They're everything I'm too afraid or too tired to be, or maybe everything I was. I could be that. I could go back to that. I could. Do I want to, though? Am I brave enough to actually take that step, Teddy?
I don't know.
What stops me? Or anything else that could go wrong from reverting back to how things are? Nothing, that's what. Nothing at all.
Glad I could help.
I wipe the sandwich crumbs off the page and clap Teddy shut with a sigh. Usually I come away feeling better after journaling, but I guess when I do it while in a good mood, it just has the opposite effect. I'm never gonna be content, huh? Zion stretches her tiny arms to the sky as a yawn squeaks out of her.
All done. Thank you very much for the food. It was lovely.
Her plate is empty enough for me to believe she actually licked all that slop clean. Just how dedicated to Yosemite is this little squirt?
That's my girl. You make Yosemite so happy.
Zion wrinkles her nose. Maybe even she's surprised by how much she's getting babied compared to usual.
Okay. Well, if you're happy, then I'm happy, I think.
Unable to bite down on her bottom lip any harder, Yellowstone speaks up. Zion, you don't have to...
Yellowstone, please.
Yosemite's voice spikes, then comes back down with a crack. Whoopah!
Please, let me do this.
At first it doesn't seem like her pleading is going to work. Yellowstone takes in a breath to let her have it, but she deflates as soon as Yosemite turns to us. She doesn't say anything. Her damp eyes do all the talking. She forces a shaky smile and turns back to Zion.
So, how are you feeling now?
No matter how happy of a tone she puts on, her labored breath makes every word ring with hollow desperation.
I'm not sure. A little queasy, I think, from the food.
Whatever facade Zion was trying to keep up for Yosemite's sake is starting to fall apart. Even the simple act of looking at Yosemite seems too much for her to bear as her voice begins to crumble.
But did it remind you of anything? Did it make you nostalgic?
It made me wistful for better food.
I don't care if you liked it or not. All I want to know is that it works. Please tell me it worked.
Yosemite fires off strings of panic. They come shooting out of her mouth as quick as they exit. Whatever all of this has been building up to, it's coming to a head. Can't say I'm happy to have a front row seat to it.
It worked in getting me a trip to the hospital. I'm sorry.
Was I, constantly poisoned by you? Is that what the memories you're trying to bring back?
No. What did I tell you? Don't apologize. Nothing is accomplished that way.
Zion winces as Yosemite's fingers grip into her shoulders. Through squinted eyes, droplets of tears start to fall from her lashes. She can't squirm away. Yosemite is forcing her to look at her, to witness this sad performance face to face.
Please, Yosemite, I don't understand.
Why not? You must remember something. It can't just all be gone.
I don't know what you're talking about. All I want is for you to be happy, Yosemite. Please tell me how to make you happy.
What the hell is this?
I need you to tell me that you remember this place.
It feels too personal. It feels too visceral.
That you can remember me hiding in bushes and staying until we could see the stars.
She shakes Zion, like if she does it hard enough, all the information will just spill out of her.
Tell me the story, Zion.
I hate it.
I don't know what story.
Cut the crap, Yosemite. Whatever you're trying to do isn't working. She ignores me. Nothing I said broke through. I'm not even sure she heard.
Then tell me what you remember. Tell me how you feel.
Scared.
Boom!
Oh, fuck, we're dead.
A cloud of ash plumes out of Yellowstone's head. She jumps to her feet. The familiar wave of heat pushes towards me. My ears pop, like a jet got too close to the ground and broke the sound barrier.
Y'all ruined my picnic, and I'm about to kick some ass.
Put a sock in it, Yosemite!
Your head?
Yellowstone's fury is carved into her face. A deep scowl etched in lines from her nose to her lips. Magma seeps over the top of her volcano and streams down her head. I'm about to kick some ass. Yosemite sits there in a daze, her grip on Zion's shoulders now just a limp hold. Zion doesn't even need to break away. She rushes over to Yellowstone and buries herself in her stomach, sobbing into her jacket.
This is your book bag.
I know you're trying to pull, and I get it. It breaks my tickler too, but this ain't right. Zion felt bad for you. I felt bad for you. It's the only reason I let this go on for so long. But you did what you always do, and you took it too far. She don't even remember anything, and you still did it. Well, listen here, Missy. You can throw your weight around when it comes to the rest of us, but I ain't gonna let you do it to Zion. If you actually care about her, and aren't just being a selfish square, then you'll leave well enough alone. Yosemite, her hand still stretched out, brings them in, and takes a long, horrified look at them.
I didn't mean...
She can't finish her sentence. Yellowstone glares at her like a beast shielding its cub from a hunter. She switches over to me, but I look away.
I'm so sorry.
The words tumble out in a hoarse whisper. She's the horse whisperer. Yosemite scrambles to her feet and runs off into the forest, disappearing into a thick of the trees. When all is silent, Yellowstone lets out a long sigh and flops back down on the blanket, bringing Zion with her, still nestled in a tight hug.
Y'all want to split some DoorDash?
I kind of ruined the rest of the sandwiches. Most of the lava has dried already, but clumps of smoke still wisp from her head like a candle was just blown up. So are you gonna give me an explanation? Not now, Eve. It ain't a good time. Yellowstone strokes Zion's hair, combing out any stray leaves that have grown in. Zion clings to her in balls, the tears streaming down her round cheeks like waterfalls.
I just wish she wasn't hurting so much. Well, why is it so hard for her to be happy?
That last one hits hard enough to knock the air out of me. Why is it so hard to be happy?
You guys have problems.
She's just like me, for real. For me, it's because I think too much. The downfall of mankind, really. But Yosemite, the pain in the ass who prides herself on having all the answers, the one who always goes around telling me how I should live my life? What's her malfunction? Does she get to have one? After being so insistent about being right all the time, acting all high and mighty like she's some kind of bastion of wisdom and foresight. Nah, I'm not gonna let her. She doesn't get to be unhappy. Not after sitting across the table from me every morning and butting her way into my head. Not after stumbling over her ego enough to make me think she might actually get it in some small way. And not after making Zion cry.
Nobody makes Zion cry.
Could you get out of Dodge for a bit, Eve? We need to be alone for a minute. You brought me here. What, am I gonna walk home? Sure, was just about to go for a walk anyway.
There's a Waffle House right over there.
I cracked my knuckles, leaving Zion and Yellowstone in the ruins of the picnic. With my eyes towards the forest, I follow the direction Yosemite ran in and trample across the field. I'm swallowed by the shadows of the trees as I hike deeper into the forest, dodging low branches and paving new paths where people may not have treaded in decades, if ever. Unfamiliar birds chirp from every direction because I don't know the name of like any birds unless they're based on the color that they are. As I wrestle through their home. The soil is moist and dark here, my boots sinking into it with every step I take. One would think that would make it easier to track down Yosemite, but it's like she has no environmental impact at all. 0 footprints and not even trampled grass. For a second I started to think she zapped herself back to the cabin, but then between tangled branches I catch a glimpse of her blue hair. These girls sure have a way of running off into the woods when they don't want to confront reality. They're so fucking dramatic. I swat away the leaves and march into the clearing. She tenses up. Her pointed ears twitch. Then her shoulders relax.
Here to lecture me, I see.
No, that's your thing. As a matter of fact...
It's my duty as a ranger. Don't waste your breath. I know what I've done.
Well, knowing is half the battle. I'll use my breath however I damn well please, including to chew you out.
The other half is guns. Escalating as always.
How about my fist adjust your definition of escalating, biatch? Cash me outside, how about now?
See, that's your problem. Nobody understands what you just said. When you get the emotion bug, you have no clue how to quarantine it. So you lash out and punch people in the face.
Yeah?
Right in their stupid faces. It's simp.
You're a simp. Oh, quit the charade!
I was playing Pictionary.
Clenching my teeth, I groan and stomp the dead grass over and over. I don't punch trees. This is all I could do. What the hell was that back there, huh?
It was pine cones and grapes.
I didn't see any grapes. Yosemite freezes, her eyes unblinking as I finish kicking the dirt and catching my breath. Not sure which one tired me out more. So much effort being angry all the time. Ugh, so much. Why do caring and not caring have to be so hard? Gugh, sucks.
It was desperation, I suppose.
Her ears flatten, and for an unshielded second, her arrow-straight posture slinks too.
No, more like panic. A flash of it all at once. When you break and feel like you need to take action, any action, or get swallowed by it.
Is it a Zion thing?
It's more than that. It's a crisis of dread, rooted in existential.
Is it a Zion thing?
It's a Zion thing.
Hashtag Zion things. She finally admits something with actual clarity and not vague poetry. And what did Zion do?
Nothing. She's done nothing. She's as kind and nurturing and wonderful as she's always been, for as long as I can remember, most likely before that too. I'm the one who causes the issues, who thinks too much, who says too much, tries too hard in all the wrong ways. You know that by now.
Glad to see you've developed some self-awareness.
I've always had it. It's just easier to suppress it than to elaborate on it.
For the first time, she may have said something that's actually hard to argue with. And when I see her like this, sulking in the middle of the clearing like a kid lost in the woods, too deep in to know which direction to take next, it's enough to make me agree with her.
We didn't run that far.
There's always been something weird going on with Zion, since the moment they all burst out of the closet pretending to be ghosts.
I just follow Yellowstone's head smoke.
The way they talk about her, how they treat her, I mean, we could just follow her voice. She's loud as shit. We all baby her, sure, but there's real reverence there, too. Not too different to how you might treat a grandparent or someone fading away into a nursing home. Yosemite.
That's me.
I can hear her drawing a sharp, steadying breath. What happened to Zion? She exhales. Her breath comes out in spurts and sputters. Yosemite running on empty.
What happens to everything? Time.
My knee-jerk reaction is to berate her for not just spitting it out, but then I remember something. Things both Yellowstone and Yosemite have said. That Zion can't help out like she used to. Yosemite feeding me some mumbo-jumbo about human perception shaping reality. That comment I made about park puberty might not have been too far off. She's changed. Yosemite turns. Not enough to face me. I don't think she could manage that right now. I don't have my face on.
She's Benjamin Button.
All I get is her side profile. The sunlight breaks through the branches above us and glistens on the pebbles speckled across her face. Is it because Zion is like the most unknown park, so like she's being forgotten about, so she's fading, her memories are fading? The sunlight breaks through the branches above us and glistens on the But why is she tiny now? Speckled across her face. A tear twinkles from the corner of her eye.
She's been reborn. So much. And she used to be so much. So much.
Her fists clench, fingernails digging into her skin. The words seem to linger right behind the tongue, unable to come to her. She tosses her hands through her hair until it looks like a mop.
So much more than she is now. It's completely and utterly unfair.
Her voice cracks. The wind whistles through the circle of trees surrounding us. It's as if her breathing, scattered and heavy, is composing the breeze.
It's like we're in an anime intro.
The camera sweeps by us as we stand on the edge of a cliff. It's uncomfortable seeing this kind of vulnerability from her. How do I stop this? How do I get out of this awkward situation?
You eat one of her pine cones.
I should honker her.
That'll work.
Where's that part of me that just wants to laugh at her smug face and tell her to get over it? That sulking in the forest isn't any way for the queen bitch to present herself. It would usually just come right out of me without a second even filter through my head. But right now, it feels like all I want is to know.
I want to know.
What brings the being I look at on the opposite side of the table every morning to this state?
Zion brought us here.
What was she like?
We're in Utah.
Yeah, it's not the fucking amazing sweeping, it's fucking Utah. My voice comes out softer than I ever expected in the last 5 years. I've probably only used that tone of voice for pup and random critters I see off on the side of a trail. See, I told you it's been 5 years! Yosemite turns her head to me. Her eyes slowly narrow, looking me over. She raises her brow, suspicion puppeting every subconscious move her body makes away from me. I frown as I notice it. Her eyes flicker, eyes going from narrow to wide with surprise. She quickly glances away, back to the side profile. She wanders a few steps closer.
She was like the forest, tall and wise and dignified. And man, those gazongas.
Right?
If there was something to be known, then she knew it. Every creature, story, and act of nature. If it was within her bounds, she lived alongside it and advocated its spirit.
Sorry, I was taking a drink. I'm back.
And when she found me, I was included in those bounds as well. All of me, the valley, and everything else.
Yosemite has always told me my thinking was too linear. I told her she didn't make any sense. But when she says these things out loud, things that sound far off, almost ancient, I think I get it. As well as I can understand things that might actually be beyond my comprehension. So since she's Northern California, I guess they used to be one park before people came along.
Maybe.
Feeling so far out of my depth, I may as well be in the Mariana Trench. I crack an uneasy knuckle. You make her sound like an actual angel.
If you had known her, you would have thought she were a goddess.
Yosemite snaps in my direction, biting off a small chunk of the conversation. Immediately, she cringes. Makes me wonder if that means she actually feels regret. But of course she does. Of course she does. The lull comes to an end with a chuckle of her own. Just one, though. Nervous and solitary.
Her wings used to be bigger, you know? Well, all of her was bigger, I suppose. But her wings could stretch out as far as she was tall. Sometimes they seemed big enough to block out the sky.
You were smaller.
She used to wrap me in them. Her feathers were like clouds, and she was warm. And she would just look down on me and talk. Teach. I remember it. The images are getting fuzzier and fuzzier, but I can still remember how it felt. But she can't.
Now it all comes together. The story she was so desperate to hear, this whole outing. The picnic didn't jog her memory like you wanted, is that it?
Well, there has to be something that can. I don't want to accept that all of it's just gone. If she forgets herself and then I forget her, then what proof will there be of any of it was real? That she was real?
Poor Zion. Not because she's forgotten herself or whatever, but because Yosemite can't accept the her that she is now. That her entire existence is deemed invalid because of Yosemite. How Zion must be forced to play along simply because of Yosemite's feelings. Now I get why Yellowstone was so upset. That's real screwed up. All she knows is that you have some high expectations, and you'll be sad if they aren't met. If she can't even remember anything, then how can you expect her to even meet those? It's a litmus test, and a crummy one at that.
What the hell's a litmus test?
It's a test to gauge your
level of lit?
Yes. It's to tell how late you are in comparison to how turnt you may be.
Oh.
I'm ready for her to... It's hard to explain. Do you not know?
I know what a litmus test
Okay.
is.
I was like, how do I explain
how
it?
acidic or based something is.
Well, I mean, yeah, in that context, but you can have a litmus test in any category.
Well, right.
That's why I was like, how do I explain this if you don't actually know? Because it's almost like a prerequisite kind of test. How would you explain a litmus test?
Like in the way they're using it?
No, just in any kind of context. Because, like, I know what it is, but, like, to explain it...
I mean, it's like a inquiry.
This just says a decisively indicative test.
Yeah, okay.
A litmus test for political support of candidates. A litmus test to see how smart you are. It's just like a test. It's like a test of your acumen in a certain thing, I guess.
Right.
But it can be used for like anything. So when you were like, I don't know what that is, I was like, oh God, I don't know how to explain this. I could use it in a sentence.
But the actual test is the acid.
Yeah, an
thing,
actual
right? Acid levels.
A litmus test is, but like this is a litmus test is like a bastardization of the phrase. I'm ready for her to throw something right back at me, but she hardly reacts.
Call it what you want.
I want to call it a litmus test.
Doing nothing would have been a betrayal to everything she did to make me who I am now.
It's her fault you're like this?
Yes. The only other option is to accept that the Zion who was real to me has been obliterated.
She starts for the other end of the clearing, further from the picnic than before. Then she stops at the mouth of 2 trees. They eat her.
You might not believe me, but I am sorry that you were dragged into this. I know I'm selfish, angry. I don't mean for it to infect everything.
I call out to her, straining my voice so that she can hear me loud and clear from the other side. You're only selfish if you can't accept her. She glances over her shoulder.
Would you?
The shade engulfs her as she fades back into the forest, and she threw that shade right in my face. When she's gone, the breeze stops. Birds return to the clearing. I don't know what they are, unless they're named after whatever color they are. Chirping as they warm themselves in the beams of sun spotting the ground. Maybe they're sunbirds.
I've seen, like, it's like a meme. They're like, what's the bird called with a yellow chest and a black beak? And it's just like...
Yellow-chested
black beak.
Yeah, yeah. That is pretty much... That is how a lot of birds are named.
Yeah. Except for the tits.
Yeah. The blue-footed boobies. A long sigh heaves out of me. I didn't even know I was holding my breath. I lean against the rough bark of the tree I thought about punching earlier. The thought strikes me again now, but despite all that, I still can't bring myself to do it. Can't make that change, punch that tree, read those letters.
Get wood.
After all, if the real Zion was obliterated through change, then why would I ever commit to it?
Well, that was fun. It was a fun picnic.
Yeah, great time, everyone. You can't go out, not when the weather's so nasty. A flash of lightning blots out the world, just for a second. It must not be too far away either, because thunder crashes outside as if it were right up in my ear. The entire cabin shakes.
The weather wouldn't hurt me, Yellowstone, and it wouldn't hurt you either.
Pup whines, trembling beneath the table as he sits on my feet.
Is it storming because, like, Yosemite's having an internal struggle?
Maybe?
Or is it just storming because it's
just
storming?
happened to be storming. Yeah, I don't know. So, that don't mean I'm not allowed to worry. First Yosemite runs off, and now you two. It just ain't right. I finish reading through another form, then tear it in two. Oh, please. Stop pretending like you're human. Anyone would get sick of the charade going on inside this cabin after long enough.
Who says charade?
I'd say it in certain ways if it's in the certain area of a sentence.
That's stupid. I'm gonna go eat my sandwich.
Yellowstone shoots a pointy glare at me. It gives Zion just enough time to eat her stupid sandwich and open the door and slink onto the patio. The wind is so harsh it blows the rain onto the cabin.
Better not blow out the power. I'm playing Roblox. I'm sorry, Yellowstone, but I need to think. Thinking.
Hey, what?
Nope, I'm thinking.
The door slams shut, leaving Yellowstone to stare at her, her hand still stretched out for Zion. That was a real crummy thing to say. We might not be human, but we have feelers that work just as well as yours. Sorry to hear that. I unfold the next feedback form and read through it. This one is from a Robert Sanchez. He says something about giving me a dirty Sanchez? Who wanted to extend his thanks to the ranger who walked with him to the river. I remember this geezer. He was always... Never mind. He was looking for a specific spot his wife liked coming to before she passed. It rips in half without any trouble. I take the two halves and rip it again, this time into 4 squares. I'm so cool.
I can't do it again. Man, I'm weak.
I try to fold it more than 7 times and the world collapses. Just take advantage of not being human. It's your biggest strength. Don't have to worry about the same crap we do. That's a fib. If we're strong, it's 'cause we're so much like people. That's the way I see it. Don't look so smug. If Yosemite's collective consciousness mumbo-jumbo is right, then you 3 came from people. That's a tragedy if you ask me. Rise above it.
I already told you I appeared naked in the woods. I don't know where I came from.
You just keep being a negative Nancy, and I'll keep being a correct Kathy. She folds her arms and smirks like a bitchy Brunhilde, doubling down on her smugness, but the smirk softens, dissolving into a genuine smile. If she was offended by my cynicism, then she's already moved on from it. That's the thing about Yellowstone. She's always been saddled with everyone else's negativity. Maybe she never actually does move on from it. Just packs it away somewhere inside her like a volcano ready to erupt.
My head.
Only letting it all bust out of her when she can't contain it anymore. Always smiling until she can't. Sorry. I don't even unfold read the next form. Just rip it. No big dealio. We've all had a rough go of it today. She takes her chair, the chair Yosemite usually sits in, and spins it around.
A clue.
Before squatting it backwards. In it backwards. She tips it back and forth, 2 legs always off the ground.
Don't do that. It's dangerous.
We know who to thank for it, at least.
God?
The front 2 legs of the chair slam down on the floor. Yellowstone's bottom lip quivers in sudden horror. Me? Not unless you're 6 feet tall and have blue hair.
I could work on that.
I mean, am I? We don't have any mirrors in here. Oh, there's a volcano on my head.
Am I beautiful?
You're okay, I guess. It's not even relief that colors her face, only blank acknowledgement. Yeah. There's a gap in the conversation. If you could even call it that. It could just be the end if we both shut up. The wailing of the storm is the only thing keeping it from lapsing into dead silence.
No, you gotta go find Yosemite in the rain.
I know it's easy to get steamed at Yosemite. I'm kind of steamed at Yosemite, but she's sad. And she's been sad for a while.
So have I.
I tried my darndest to keep the fat lady from singing for as long as I could, but she's ready to yodel, by golly. She's gonna yodel. Ricola.
Do you know how to yodel?
I mean, how much of the Cranberries do you listen to? Don't pin too much on her, please. I'm not sure that's a request I can honor. My feelings on Yosemite keep getting more and more complicated. She's a rival, a validator, smart, snooty, kind, cruel, cute. There could be an entire dictionary of words to describe her. She can bully Yellowstone into hating herself or manipulate Zion to the point of tears, while at the same time scolding me about my work and the nature of myself.
She's such a bitch. I love her.
Do I hate her, respect her, tolerate her? Are we friends? Ew. Sometimes it feels like we're friends. In a way, we always have been. Since I first started coming to this park as a little kid. But to admit that is to take a step. To change.
Ew.
Isn't change obliteration according to her?
Will I become a babby?
That's actually one of the... Do I get wings? That's actually one of the few things she said that I find easy to believe, or at least convenient to.
Here's your Red Bull.
She told me about how different Zion used to be, you know? There's no audible sigh, but her shoulders slump. When did it start? Have you always known? She stares down at the table, eyeing it in on a cup stain, probably from Yosemite's tea. Her finger traces over the ring in an infinite circle. I think I had already started by the time they found me, but even back then Zion was, different. Different how?
Much larger breasts.
Shrugging with one shoulder, the other one stays in place so she can keep tracing. Just different. A little taller, maybe? I don't remember so well. It's like I can think it, but I can't see it. Feeling's coming back the strongest. That reminds me of something Yosemite said. If she forgets herself and then I forget her, then what proof will there be that any of it was real? Yellowstone is clearer about explaining this kind of stuff. She doesn't lapse into theatrics, theatrics. But the impression I get is still the same. Maybe they all forget at one point or another. The more big old Zion changed to little old Zion, the clearer she gets in my noggin. The usual brightness in Yellowstone's voice shines through as she recollects. And the crankier Yosemite got, That little burst of sunshine is short-lived, though. The mere mention of Yosemite seems like it's enough to suck the light out of anything. I always figured she was such a sourpuss because of me, you know. That her and Zion had something real swell going on, and that by me being here, I had jammed it all up. Cooking, cleaning, all that good stuff. I do it because I'm grateful for the company, and I guess at some point I started hoping that the gratitude would make her less sad. Ever think that some people are just sad by their very nature?
I'm starting to. I think she might just be a bitch.
Being sad is natural. All suffering is. I'm gonna go listen to AFI. But suffer too long and you kind of remove yourself from nature. You want to move with the circle, not get behind it. That way when it comes back around, you're ready.
Can you get behind a circle?
Yeah, where would be the front of a circle? Is it the face? On the z-axis? You think Yosemite, a representative of nature, has removed herself from it?
Exactly.
Oh! I think it's something a lot of people do. Yellowstone decides to punctuate her point by bouncing her eyebrows.
Look at this. I can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I take another form from the pile and skim over it. Not many more to go now.
She's just casually like throwing them in her head.
Yeah. I don't... Ooh, missed it. Kobe! Say, what are those papers you keep tearing up? Nothing important. The pieces flutter to the ground and I go for the next one. As a gal who's gonna have to sweep them up, I'd say it's pretty important to me. I'll clean them up later. We both know you won't. I go in for the next one, but she swipes the stack off the table before I can.
Give me that.
She grins at me with her teeth, revealing 2 rows of polished pearly whites. My eyes glaze over. They're feedback forms. Visitors can fill them out. Most do it to complain. All of those ones happen to mention me. Ooh, juicy gossip.
I agree. You do have a nice ass.
Me and this choky guy might have a lot to talk about. She quickly unfolds the entire stack. Her eyes scan from left to right as she reads through the first page. Hey.
You're a crazy bitch.
This don't look like moaning to me. In fact, they're saying some real nice things about you. Handwriting could be better, though. Yeah, they're all like that. My supervisor wanted me to read them. So why y'all ripping them up, then? Because they're convenient lies. She licks her thumb and shuffles to the next form. You mean none of these things actually happened? Oh, they happened all right. I just think they got the wrong impression of me. Take a look at any of those and tell me if it sounds like me. I think they do. Then for my sake, I hope you're wrong. Yellowstone flips to the next form, saying nothing as she reads through it. She stares at it for a good long time. Her eyes are unmoving, like she's narrowing in on one spot. Huh. I guess I don't know how to read. Then she starts digging around in
How
her
did
head
I
again.
never notice this?
Great. I really wish she would warn me before doing this. At least I won't have to eat whatever comes out of there this time, I hope. She whips out a small roll of tape. Oh, damn it, I do have to eat it. Tears off a piece and bends both sides together to make it double-sided. All I do is watch as she does. This is a couple more times and sticks them to the back of the form she was just reading. Having fun?
I'm going to make a mosaic.
I'm gonna put this on the fridge. She answers by snagging Teddy off the table and slapping the form onto the first free page.
Whoa now.
Hey! That's my journal, not your arts and crafts project. We're not decoupaging here. I leap out of my chair and rush to the other side of the table, ready to pry Teddy out of her soon-to-be cold, dead hands. She doesn't retaliate, though, only presenting the book to me before I have the chance to get physical. I rip it out of her hand. You're dead! Read it!
I'm already done.
I glare at her, still contemplating all the sharp objects I could shove inside her head.
It wouldn't do shit.
Go on, don't be shy.
Shove them in there.
I look down at Teddy. The edges of the form she taped in there are sticking out of the journal, breaking up the aligned cohesion on every other page. Acting more like a bookmarker, the form doesn't even let me flip through the pages. All I have to do is open it up and I'm there. There's no name, number, email address, or even a listed date, aside from logos in the form will tell us how we're doing. All there is to read. That's the voice I give the cartoon owl that we use. It's not Hootie. It's copyright. All there is to read the print of the paragraph lines. Give me a goofy voice.
Didn't catch her name, but I wanted to thank that one Ginger Ranger for sitting down next to me on that log while eating lunch. We only said a few words to each other, but I'm still here for the time being because of it.
There's nothing wrong with being valued, Eve. Everything just stops. my heart, my bitching. Hell, maybe even my lungs. I keep forgetting how to breathe, because I'm not even sure I'm breathing. There's no way.
Goofy
I'm
loves
not-
me?
I love him too! I'm not valuable.
Chokey was Goofy all along?
Now that makes sense. I'm not valuable. Not worth being valued. A flash of white blinds me, and a few seconds later I hear the thunder behind it. When my sight comes back, the room is dark, filled with shadows. My Roblox!
Nosferatu.
Oh, phooey, the darn lights went out. Yellowstone scurries across the room from window to window, drawing open the curtains to let in the natural light of the darkness outside.
the lightning?
Yeah. It gives me enough time to iron out the lump in my throat and choke down the stray sobs. I wish Chokey were here to help me with that. I'm not valuable. But to one person, I guess I was. Because at the end of the day, it didn't matter if they had the wrong impression of me or not, as long as they saw the end of the day. There's a faint knock at the door.
Ah!
Yellowstone freezes in place, both arms spread out, opening up a curtain. I wipe away the tears still stuck to my cheeks. It's the hash slinging! It's the bash bringing!
I'm done thinking. Is it okay if I come back in now?
No! Zion's muffled voice is barely audible over the sound of rain and thunder, but I can hear her usual polite timidness ring out like a church bell. Guess she didn't outright exile herself like Yosemite did. Don't get why she has to ask permission to come back in from a walk she decided to go on, though. 'Cause this was all a plan to get you two to make out, that girls do all the time. Did it work?
Are you in your underwear pillow fighting yet?
No.
Oh, I'll come back later.
We've got so many pillows here, too, and never mind. Yellowstone rushes to the bathroom, then shuffles back out, a fresh towel in hand. She opens up the front door so fast that I wouldn't be surprised if she wound up tearing it off the hinges.
Woo, I'm strong.
Come in, I'll give you shelter from the storm. She ushers Zion inside and closes the door behind her. She's sopping wet. Even her wings are weighed down by the water dripping from them. That doesn't make sense. Feathers are
Yeah.
water resistant. A puddle forms around her feet.
Not mine.
Just look at you. You're soaked to the bone. Wait, are your bones hollow? Without missing a beat, Yellowstone kneels down and starts drying Zion off with the towel.
Hopefully it makes it easier to fly.
Right? There's no method to it. She just spastically scrubs every area of her body like you might do with your hair after getting out of the shower.
I'm sorry for getting upset earlier.
Her words are jumbled and muffled by the towel.
Oh, sorry.
It ain't no thing but a chicken wing. She stops scrubbing and Zion's head pops out from the towel. Poor Zion looks as guilty as a felon. Gelling like a felon, despite being the victim in all this.
You're not fibbing, are you?
Course not. We all been getting a little peeved lately, so I think your lead is entitled to at least one flip.
Don't touch my halo.
Okay.
Okay. I still think it was childish of me, though.
Well, you look like a child, so I'm allow it. They smile at each other, then clonk foreheads and nuzzle them together.
Ouch!
They're like coneheads. Well, one of them is. They even have the little ring that coneheads use to have sex. Yellowstone mentioned that Yosemite had a bad case of mama bear syndrome, but looking at this, I have to wonder who might have it worse. You got back here quick.
I can fly.
You sure you did enough thinking out there? She jumps at the sound of my voice, my presence making itself known from the shadows.
Oh my god! Probably not as much thinking as you do, Miss Eve.
The fuck's that supposed to mean? Too much of it if you ask me.
It's better than thinking too little. Probably.
It's not. She breaks away from Yellowstone, who was still in the middle of drying her, and gets a few steps closer to me. Yellowstone pouts as she wipes up the drops of water behind her.
Actually, the reason I came back is because I wanted to talk to you.
Just picturing Yellowstone as the little robot from WALL-E. It's cleaning up the tire tracks the whole
Yeah.
time. Bob, I think, is his name. Rob? Bob? It wasn't Rob. To me, don't know if you noticed, but I don't have the most engaging personality.
Oh my god! Get over yourself. It's been 3 episodes. We
No,
like you.
Nobody's emo anymore, okay? It's not cool.
That's not true. Yosemite wouldn't like you as much as she does if that were the case.
The words start to stumble out, but just end up sputtering to a stop. No response for that. Yosemite doesn't actually like me, right? Only tolerates me? Do you think she likes me? Does she actually like me? Do you think she's into Coheed and Cambria?
Who?
Should I make her a mix? Unless she really does.
Who the hell is that?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
My god, that's horrifying.
I'm gonna go play Roblox.
The power's out.
Son of a bitch!
Now that I think about it, maybe she's more into Tegan and Sarah? Not because she might see me as an acquaintance that she enjoys spending time with, but because I'm okay with it?
Wait, I got it on my phone.
Instead of walking the rest of the way to me, she gets up and floats to meet me eye to eye.
Could you possibly take my hand? I'd like to go somewhere special for this.
She extends her hand to me. I don't immediately grab it.
Come on.
Ooh, another field trip. Do we want to try for another picnic?
Actually, Yellowstone?
Yellowstone scrunches up her face like she's trying to do a long division. I'm a little worried at first, but she finally gets the right equation. Oh, I see how it is. It's not a picnic. We're gonna go fishing. You cats think you're too cool for school. Bumpkin like me would just cramp your style, right? But I'm hip and cool and poppin' fresh.
No.
Okay. Zion gasps at the notion. She starts to speak, but Yellowstone turns around and waves us off. Go on, get. Old Yellowstone will hold down the fort like she always does. I'm gonna play some Roblox. Her dismissive hand slips into a thumbs up.
Don't spend my Robux.
I'll do what I want, motherfucker.
Oh, wait.
Zion
I
breathes
forgot I
a
put
relieved
Eve's credit
sigh.
card in there.
What?
Thank you.
Hold on, I haven't agreed to anything yet.
That's okay. You'd end up doing it anyway.
Well, she's not wrong.
Now come on.
She clasps my hand and smiles. Like, we're at time.
Yeah, it's probably the end of the scene here, would be my guess.
But I imagine there's still a whole other scene to do, right?
Ready?
Yeah.
Static.
I'm swept away. The ground gives way beneath me, as do the walls, the air. Anything familiar to ground me is gone. All engulfed by the sizzling of electricity running through me. She's like Dr. Manhattan. She takes you to Mars without realizing that you can't breathe on Mars.
Disneyland.
Then darkness. Wait, was it Mars or the moon?
I feel like it was a planet.
I think it was Mars.
Yeah.
A deep, eternal darkness, the most natural I've ever seen. It doesn't feel dangerous or scary, just inviting. Like the indescribable space I'm falling through and are cradling arms of something much bigger. I want to let go. Then there's ground. I stumble for footing, but when you're going to slip, there's never any stopping it.
Ah,
Son of a...
we're in the Great Valley.
All right.
Yeah, that's an episode.
Yeah,
We'll
because
save
there's going to
there.
be...
There's going to be at least an hour left or something.
Well, not only that, because there's going to be this little bit, which is going to probably be third act end of this episode. But then
Yeah.
there's the after credits, like little,
Right.
you know, G.I.
This
Joe.
Sonic says.
Yeah,
Sailor says,
yeah, G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe, the more you know.
All right, see you guys next time for more. I'm going to change this girl's voice constantly for no reason. Because my voice gives out, and it gets easier to just talk in my own voice, going, you know? You know.
I do know.
You know quite well. You know better than anybody. Well, not anybody.